Have you ever felt invisible in a conversation? Or had someone belittle your thoughts, dismiss your feelings, or outright disrespect you? It's a terrible feeling, right? The truth is, we all encounter disrespectful people at some point in life, whether it's at work, in relationships, or even with friends. But here's the thing. Letting disrespect slide can slowly erode your confidence and self-worth. So today, we're going to talk about how to handle people who don't respect you. And by the end of this video, you'll have 7 powerful strategies to take back control and demand the respect you deserve. Before we dive in, if you're ready to live a more empowered and confident life, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more game-changing advice. Let's get started. 1. Set boundaries firmly and early. Let's face it, disrespect often flourishes when there's a lack of clarity about what is acceptable and what isn't. That's why setting boundaries is not just a polite suggestion. It's an essential tool for self-respect. Think of boundaries as invisible lines that define how others are allowed to treat you. If you don't set them, people will often push as far as they can, knowingly or unknowingly. So, how do you set boundaries effectively? First, understand that boundaries are not about confrontation. They're about clarity. For example, if someone constantly interrupts you during conversations, instead of letting it slide or feeling frustrated in silence, address it calmly but firmly. You might say, "I value what you have to say, but I'd appreciate it if you could let me finish before sharing your thoughts." Notice the tone here. Respectful but direct. This approach sends a powerful message. You're not looking for conflict, but you won't accept being disrespected either. Another important point is to set these boundaries early. Waiting too long can make it harder to change how people treat you. Imagine you've been tolerating a coworker's rude remarks for months and suddenly decide to speak up. They might react with surprise or even resistance because they've grown used to crossing your boundaries. But if you establish your limits from the beginning, people are more likely to respect them. Remember, boundaries aren't just for others. They're for you too. They give you a sense of control and self-respect. And here's the beauty of it. When you clearly communicate what you will and won't tolerate, you're teaching others how to treat you. You're saying, without words, I value myself enough to demand respect. So, ask yourself, what are the areas in your life where disrespect often creeps in? Is it at work, in relationships, or even with friends? Identify these patterns and start setting those boundaries today. It's one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. 2. Stay calm and composed. Let's be honest. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct might be to fire back with anger, frustration, or a cutting remark of your own. After all, it's natural to want to defend yourself when you feel attacked. But here's the thing, reacting emotionally often gives the person exactly what they want, a sense of control over your emotions. It confirms to them that they can get under your skin, and in many cases, it escalates the situation into unnecessary conflict. Now, imagine this instead. The person throws a verbal jab, expecting you to snap. But instead of reacting, you pause, breathe, and respond with calm composure. Or better yet, you choose silence. In that moment, you're sending a much stronger message than any angry retort ever could. Why is this so powerful? Because staying calm in the face of disrespect communicates that you are in control. Not them, not the situation, but you. It tells the other person that their words or actions don't have the power to rattle you. Think of calmness as your armor. It deflects negativity and keeps you grounded. For example, if a coworker makes a snide comment about your performance in a meeting rather than firing back, you might simply look at them and say, "Thank you for your feedback. I'll take that into consideration." Then let the silence hang in the air. It's disarming because it doesn't match their expectations. They were likely prepared for an argument, but instead, you've shifted the energy of the interaction entirely. Staying calm doesn't mean you're weak or passive. It's actually the opposite. It takes immense strength to control your emotions in the heat of the moment. And make no mistake, silence can be one of the loudest responses. It's a subtle way of saying, I see your disrespect, but I refuse to stoop to your level. Here's a practical tip. The next time someone disrespects you, instead of reacting immediately, take a deep breath. Count to 3 in your head if you need to. This small pause gives you a chance to process the situation and decide on a thoughtful response rather than a knee-jerk reaction. Over time, this practice of staying composed not only helps you navigate disrespect with dignity, but also earns you a reputation for being unshakable. People will think twice about trying to provoke you because they'll know it doesn't work. So, the next time someone tests your patience, remember, calm is your power and composure is your greatest strength. 3. Use assertive communication. Respect is often built or lost in the way we communicate. Think about it. The tone of your words, the clarity of your message, and even your body language all contribute to how others perceive you. This is why assertive communication is such a powerful tool. It allows you to express yourself clearly and confidently while still respecting the other person. But what does assertive communication look like? First, let's talk about what it's not. It's not passive communication, where you hold back your thoughts and let others walk all over you. That might seem easier in the moment, but it often leaves you feeling frustrated and undervalued. And it's not aggressive communication either. Yelling, blaming, or making demands might get attention, but it usually damages relationships and can escalate conflict. Assertive communication, on the other hand, strikes a perfect balance. It's about being direct and honest without being disrespectful. For example, imagine you're in a meeting and someone keeps interrupting you. A passive response might be to stay quiet and let it slide, even though it bothers you. An aggressive response might be snapping. Can you stop cutting me off already? Now let's consider the assertive approach. You might say, I'd like to finish my point before we move on. I appreciate your input, but I feel disrespected when I'm interrupted, and I'd prefer if we could have a more balanced conversation. Do you see the difference? This statement is calm, clear, and firm. It communicates your feelings without attacking the other person. And most importantly, it sets the tone for how you expect to be treated moving forward. Here's the secret. Assertive communication isn't just about what you say. It's also about how you say it. Your tone should be steady and confident, not shaky or confrontational. Your body language matters too. Stand or sit up straight, make eye contact, and avoid crossing your arms, which can come off as defensive. If you're not used to speaking assertively, it might feel uncomfortable at first. But like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Start small, maybe with a friend or family member, and gradually work your way up to more challenging situations. And here's an important reminder, being assertive is not about controlling others or forcing them to agree with you. It's about standing up for yourself while still allowing room for mutual respect. When you communicate assertively, you're not just asking for respect. You're showing that you respect yourself. So, the next time you feel disrespected, take a moment to gather your thoughts, then speak up with clarity and confidence. Assertive communication is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And as you practice, you'll notice a shift, not just in how others treat you, but in how you see yourself. 4. Don't take it personally. When someone disrespects you, it's natural to feel hurt, angry, or even question your own worth. You might think, why are they treating me like this? Did I do something wrong? But here's an important truth to remember. More often than not, their disrespect says far more about them than it does about you. Think about it. People who are rude, dismissive, or condescending are often dealing with their own insecurities, frustrations, or unresolved issues. Maybe they're having a bad day, or maybe they've developed toxic habits to mask their feelings of inadequacy. Their behavior is a reflection of their internal struggles, not a measure of your value. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you're at work and a colleague snaps at you for no apparent reason. Your initial reaction might be to feel offended or wonder what you did wrong. But what if you knew they were dealing with a tight deadline or a personal issue at home? Suddenly, their outburst isn't about you. It's about what's happening in their life. This perspective shift is powerful. When you stop taking disrespect personally, you free yourself from carrying the weight of someone else's negativity. You realize that their actions don't define you. Instead, they reveal their own struggles or lack of emotional intelligence. Now, let's be clear. Understanding that disrespect isn't about you doesn't mean you have to accept it or excuse it. You still have every right to stand up for yourself and set boundaries. But it does mean you don't have to internalize their behavior. Don't let their words or actions chip away at your self-esteem. Here's a helpful mental exercise. The next time someone disrespects you, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what could be driving this behavior? Maybe they're stressed, insecure, or simply lacking the tools to communicate effectively. Then remind yourself, their behavior is about them, not me. This small shift can help you respond with more calm and confidence. And here's another tip. Build a strong sense of self-worth. When you truly believe in your own value, you become less vulnerable to the opinions or actions of others. Their disrespect won't shake you because you know it doesn't define who you are. Ultimately, learning not to take disrespect personally is a form of emotional freedom. It allows you to stay grounded in your self-worth and focus on what truly matters: your goals, your happiness, and the people who uplift you. So, the next time someone tries to bring you down, remember, their behavior says everything about them and nothing about you. 5. Walk away when necessary. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is not to fight back, but to walk away. It might feel counterintuitive. After all, we're often taught to stand our ground and resolve conflicts. But the truth is, not every battle is worth fighting. Some situations and people are so deeply rooted in negativity or disrespect that your best response is to remove yourself from the equation entirely. Let's start with this truth. No matter how patient, understanding, or assertive you are, there will be people who simply refuse to change their behavior. Maybe it's a toxic friend who constantly belittles you under the guise of jokes, or a coworker who disregards your contributions, no matter how many times you've spoken up, or even a family member who manipulates and disrespects you repeatedly, despite your efforts to establish boundaries. In these cases, continuing to engage with them can drain your energy, damage your confidence, and make you feel stuck. That's when it's time to ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Walking away isn't about giving up. It's about choosing to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being over a toxic situation. Walking away can take many forms. It might mean distancing yourself emotionally from someone who's toxic while still maintaining surface-level interactions. For example, you might choose to keep conversations with a disrespectful coworker strictly professional. In more extreme cases, it could mean ending a relationship entirely. Whether that's cutting ties with a toxic friend, leaving a draining work environment, or stepping back from a family member who refuses to treat you with respect. And let's be clear, walking away is not a sign of weakness. It takes immense strength and self-respect to say, I deserve better than this. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and mental health are precious resources that shouldn't be wasted on someone who doesn't value you. One of the biggest challenges in walking away is overcoming the fear of what others might think. You might worry, will people think I'm selfish? Will they judge me for ending this relationship or leaving this situation? But here's the thing. Your life is yours to live. You're the one who has to carry the weight of toxic interactions, and you're the one who will feel the peace and freedom when you let them go. Here's a simple exercise. Think about the relationships or situations in your life that feel disrespectful or draining. Ask yourself, have I done my part to address this? Have I communicated my boundaries and given this person a chance to change? If the answer is yes and nothing has improved, it might be time to step away. Walking away doesn't mean you hate the person or wish them harm. It simply means you've chosen to value yourself enough to let go of something that no longer serves you. It's one of the most powerful statements you can make. I choose me. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where disrespect persists despite your best efforts, give yourself permission to walk away. It's not about giving up on others. It's about not giving up on yourself. 6. Surround yourself with supportive people. Here's a powerful truth. The people you surround yourself with shape your reality. They influence how you see yourself, how you handle challenges, and what you believe you deserve. That's why one of the most effective ways to handle disrespect is to intentionally build a circle of people who uplift, respect, and inspire you. Imagine this. You're having a rough day and someone disrespects you. Maybe it's a snide comment or a dismissive gesture. Now, picture turning to a group of friends or mentors who immediately remind you of your worth. They don't let you dwell on the disrespect. Instead, they lift you up, reaffirm your value, and help you refocus on what truly matters. This kind of support can be transformative. Why is surrounding yourself with positive people so important? Because it creates a protective buffer against negativity. When you're consistently treated with kindness, respect, and encouragement, it becomes glaringly obvious when someone disrespects you. You're less likely to tolerate toxic behavior because you've experienced what healthy, respectful relationships feel like. Seek out friends who genuinely celebrate your successes, mentors who challenge you to grow without tearing you down, and colleagues who value collaboration over competition. These are the people who will remind you that you don't have to endure disrespect to feel valued. You already are valuable. But finding these supportive people requires intentionality. Start by evaluating your current relationships. Ask yourself, do the people in my life respect my boundaries and values? Do they listen to me without judgment and offer genuine support? Do I feel energized and empowered after spending time with them? If the answer is no, it might be time to distance yourself from those who drain your energy and seek out new connections. This doesn't mean you have to cut everyone off immediately, but it does mean prioritizing relationships that nourish your soul over those that deplete it. Also remember that support doesn't always come from people you know personally. It can come from joining communities that align with your values, whether it's a professional network, a hobby group, or even an online space where positivity and encouragement are the norms. Here's a key point. Being surrounded by supportive people doesn't mean you'll never face disrespect again, but it does mean you'll handle it differently. When you know you have a solid foundation of support, you'll feel more confident in standing up for yourself, walking away when necessary, and refusing to internalize negativity. Ultimately, the people you surround yourself with should remind you of this truth. You are worthy of respect, kindness, and love. And when you truly believe that, the disrespect of others will hold far less power over you. So, take a moment today to reflect on your circle. And if needed, start building one that empowers you to be your best self. 7. Know your worth. The foundation of handling disrespect isn't about changing others. It's about understanding and owning your worth. When you know your value, you set the standard for how others treat you. You radiate a quiet confidence that commands respect, and you're far less likely to tolerate disrespectful behavior. But here's the truth. People will treat you the way you allow them to. That's why knowing your worth is not just important, it's essential. Let's start with a simple but powerful question. Do you truly believe in your own value? It's easy to say yes, but believing it deeply, at your core, is something many people struggle with. Society, past experiences, or even the opinions of others can sometimes make us doubt ourselves. But here's the thing. Your worth isn't determined by what others think of you. It's defined by who you are. your unique strengths, and the value you bring to the world. Think about the times when you've allowed disrespect to linger in your life. Maybe it was letting a friend repeatedly cancel plans without considering your time, or staying silent when a colleague took credit for your work. Now ask yourself, why did I allow that? Often it comes down to a subconscious belief that you didn't deserve better. But you didn't deserve better. But you do. You always have. Knowing your worth starts with self-reflection. Take time each day to remind yourself of your strengths and accomplishments. Make a list of the things you've achieved, the challenges you've achieved, the challenges you've overcome, and the qualities that make you unique. Maybe you're a great listener, a hard worker, or someone who brings positivity into every room. These are all parts of your worth, and they deserve to be recognized, especially by you. Once you understand your value, everything changes. You'll find it easier to set boundaries, speak up when you're disrespected, and walk away from toxic situations without guilt. Confidence becomes your armor, and it shows in the way you carry yourself. You'll notice that others respond differently when you exude self-assurance. They'll be more likely to respect you because they can sense that you respect yourself. But confidence doesn't mean arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than others. It's about knowing you're just as worthy as anyone else. It's a quiet, unshakable belief in your own value, even when others fail to see it. And when you operate from that place of self-worth, disrespectful people lose their power over you. Their words and actions become background noise because you know they don't define you. Here's a powerful exercise. Every morning, look in the mirror and affirm your worth. Say something like, I am worthy of respect. I bring value to every space I enter. I deserve to be treated with kindness and dignity. It might feel strange at first, but over time, these affirmations will become a part of how you see yourself. Remember, your worth isn't conditional. It's not based on how others treat you, how much you accomplish, or how perfect you are. It's inherent. You are worthy simply because you exist. So, when someone disrespects you, let your response come from a place of confidence and self-respect. Stand tall, speak clearly, and know that their behavior says more about them than it ever will about you. Knowing your worth isn't just about handling disrespect. It's about living a life where you demand and receive the respect you deserve. And that starts with believing in yourself every single day. In conclusion, disrespect doesn't have to control your life. With these 7 strategies, you can stand up for yourself and demand the respect you deserve. Remember, respect starts with how you treat yourself. So don't settle for less than your worth. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and share it with someone who might need this advice. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more tips on building confidence and thriving in life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.